made it to Maine.
In a quarter mile, your destination will be on the left.
It feels just like New Hampshire. This is our first stop in Maine.
We're on a coffee mission. We're gonna go find coffee. Googled it. This is what came up. So we left Portsmouth early in the morning and drove across state lines into Maine.
We are in York, Maine. This was our first stop in Maine. We are sort of in the car portion because Labor Day weekend was very, very busy, of course, in most places. We were planning on camping during this time, but we're ahead of schedule for once on one of these trips. It was easier just to find a rental car, stay in Portsmouth, which we came from, and also York, which is the only place we could find accommodations this time around, but it works out because York was one of the spots that you guys told us to check out.
So I said we wanted to get lobster rolls. That was kind of like one of two things that we wanted to do while we were in York. I did a little bit of Googling to find out where the best lobster rolls were in Maine. A lot of them were up the coast, so I found the closest one to us.
We are on a mission for lobster rolls. Now we Googled what the best lobster rolls in the region are, and Googly said it was Bob's, was it Bob's Clam Shack?
Clam Hut.
Bob's Clam Bucket?
Clam Hut.
Bob's Clam Hut. We're hoping it's open because the last probably, I'd say, what, 3 out of every 4 places we've gone to have been closed. Probably because of Labor Day weekend, but it wasn't reflected on the Google Maps hours. Fingers crossed that Bob's Clam Shack is open.
Clam Hut. The internet said that this place is usually pretty busy. Like there's usually like you order and it's like an hour wait for your food. We will see. Lot is so tight. I think we don't have a 12-passenger van.
Oh, if we had the 12-passenger van, we would be so screwed right now. Okay, I'm gonna let you out here. Just go order.
Side of front.
K205. They just called our order, and it has been 55 minutes.
All right, lobster rolls.
I got the mayo lobster roll.
Was it worth the wait?
It's pretty good.
I've definitely had better fries. The lobster roll tastes good though. The bun is buttery. All right, mission accomplished. We got our lobster rolls. Now we're headed back to the hotel. We are gonna hit the lighthouse tonight, take a couple of pictures. We're gonna get everything packed up, everything charged, because tomorrow we're going up the coast to start the more adventurous side of this episode.
We're going off grid.
There's a lot of people here. It's a really beautiful night. We're gonna mask up. This was a recommendation from you guys on Instagram, so we decided to come hit it up. I've never felt so much regret for not bringing a long lens in my life. I was like, I won't need the 200 to 600. I never shoot telephoto, and I've already wanted it like at least 10 times. We got a pretty good shot spot down here. I'm sure that a million people have already taken the shot. Ventured down over the rocks, set up for our shot. We're a little bit early. We're about an hour before sunset happened. I found the shot that I wanted to take. I wanted to do a long exposure with the ocean in the foreground and just have the ocean kind of creamed out with motion. Sunset is a draw for people, especially for photography, but there's also magic that happens once the sun dips below the horizon too. That like little bit of time where it's still a little bit light out, but everything is blue, can create some pretty cool photos. Can't believe how warm it is by the coast here.
Yeah.
Shoot successful. I think I got like 1 or 2 shots. We're gonna get packed up, and tomorrow morning we're gonna drive back to Portsmouth International, pick up the heli, and then fly northeast to our first off-airport landing of the trip. This is where it gets scary, fun, and scary. Let's do it.
Let's go. We woke up for sunrise. The beach was pretty much empty. Beautiful sunrise over York. It was amazing. It was fantastic. So I'm glad that we got to see that.
So we drove back to Portsmouth Airport, hopped in the helicopter.
Helicopter 300 Whiskey Zulu, Portsmouth Tower, ready to depart.
Affirmative.
Clear for takeoff, right turn out approved.
And roger that, 0 Whiskey Zulu.
Took a bumpy flight up the coast, 45 minutes to Brunswick Executive Airport.
Boston approach, helicopter 300 Whiskey Zulu.
November 300 Whiskey Zulu, Boston approach, squawk 5125.
5125, and we're en route to Kilo Bravo X-ray Mike. Yeah, this is all like the roads we were driving on.
November 3 Whiskey Zulu, contact Portland approach 119.75 today.
119.75, 0 Whiskey Zulu.
Fun to like float around this way, kayak in there.
Yeah, look, people are doing that. I bet that's freshwater.
Oh yeah, it might be.
I wonder how much salt diffuses in even against the current.
Helicopter Copy 0 Whiskey Zulu, flight eastbound now. Maintain VFR, turn rating 090.
0900, 0 Whiskey Zulu.
I'm gonna put you out over the ocean. Now what?
Whiskey 52,
Just gonna go out over the water? I'm sketched here.
We'll just circle.
0 Whiskey Zulu. It could, I can
300 Whiskey Zulu, say again.
I'll go 0 Whiskey Zulu, disregard.
And roger that, we're just circling over the coast.
Roger.
Oh my god, I hate this.
So you gotta do, busy airspace, man. VFR traffic is the least.
I'll go 0 Whiskey Zulu. Maintain south of the final and advise when you're headed back northbound.
Can we do a flyover of downtown Portland?
0 Whiskey Zulu, contact tower 120.9.
120.9, 0 Whiskey Zulu. Portland Tower, helicopter 300, Whiskey Zulu.
Oh my god, I'm getting so sick.
Helicopter 300, Whiskey Zulu, Portland.
300 Whiskey Zulu is requesting a scenic flight over downtown Portland.
Yeah, you can proceed on course as requested.
Roger.
Oh, this was the worst.
This sucks.
This sucks. Worst spot to be circling.
That's all we can do.
Portland's a busy,
Southwest 2062, if you could change the straight and visual. Runway 29 still clear.
CTAB 122.725.
122.725. So far, this part of Maine is not anything like what I thought it was going to be like.
Nope.
Beaches and coastlines and weird green, like, beautiful turquoise water.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be coastal, rocky, cliffy.
Yeah, bizarre, huh?
Bizarre. It is really pretty, though.
Brunswick Executive Traffic Helicopter 300 Whiskey Zulu are taxiing across the runways to the pumps, Brunswick.
Yeah, we are at Brunswick Executive Airport. Interestingly enough, this place has 2 towers, but it's an untowered airport. So I wonder if this was a larger airport back in the day and maybe they've sort of downscaled it, getting topped up. We flew about an hour north along the coast and we are probably like 3 or 4 minutes away from our final destinations. Oh, hot day today.
Brunswick Traffic Helicopter 300 Whiskey Zulu is lifting up at the ramp, direct southbound departure. Brunswick.
I found this little place. They're called tenters, and they're basically like an Airbnb for glamping. Typically, they're built on farms. So I felt it was a very good way for us to find places to land.
4-minute flight.
Yeah, so we're gonna hook around the south end of the peninsula. On my downwind, I'm gonna check out the approach, and then I'm gonna come in basically into wind, which gives us a whole field for basically to shoot the approach into. I talked to the guy, the owner, and he said there's no wires, but we'll make our own assessment when we get there. We should be able to kind of nestle it in right next to the tenter. Arrow check. That's the field over there. See the tent?
Oh, I see the tent, yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, beautiful approach. Wind coming off the water, power lines in the other field.
Grass looks a little bit high in parts over here.
What's that noise? Something dropped? Yeah, my phone.
Okay.
Get my phone out of there.
Go around?
Yep.
Where'd that come from, your pocket?
Pocket, yeah.
All right, so we aborted that landing because Chris's phone fell out of his pocket underneath the collective. So you don't around with shit like that, so we're just gonna do a go around.
It was a bit steep and fast too, so.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go around.
But you hear a noise and you're like, okay,
What was
reassess.
it?
No lights. Didn't sound like anything in the engine. Something just didn't sound right. The first time I think I've aborted a confined landing. Sorry, it happens.
Okay.
So this is the first non-airport airport tour, or non-airport tour. Anyway, roll the intro. First of all, the views, 10 out of 10. There's no runways because it's not an airport. They do have this nice field which allowed us to approach into winds. This is an uncontrolled area. The bathroom situation, bucket with a toilet seat lid on it, does the trick. We have a nice tent here. There's a picnic table, fire pit.
We're in the Tick Country now.
Tick Country.
Let's check out the tent.
Okay. It's a little bit outside the box to ask somebody to land a helicopter on their property. Joe, the owner, has been amazing. And he's like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. Let's do it. So he came down, he brought us some fresh eggs literally from the chickens that are on his farm he's raising, and also some fresh picked tomatoes. So very nice addition, Joe. Really appreciate the extra hospitality.
Water, glamping at its finest.
The heat took it out of me today.
Hot day in the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
Hot day at the campsite in the direct sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were just sitting there with like 2 bumps on a log.
We just kind of hung out and it took a few moments to like disconnect from our phones and take in the views. We went for a little walk and it was a beautiful day and we went to check out some of the farm animals. There's chickens down here and sheep.
Sheep and chickens.
See if we can't go get a few pictures.
You got some dank looking butt on you. Got some dingleberries if I've ever seen them.
thing just farted and it was like doing this really weird move. Flies.
Hello. This is so funny. This one's got an undercut. Should we go try to find those chickens? They're so ridiculous.
The light sure changed since we left. As we were walking back, the clouds started to creep over and we were like, oh God, like I think it's gonna rain. And we got everything in the tent, and including us, just in time for it to have the most insane downpour I think I've ever heard in my life.
Got back just in time.
Maybe it was heightened because of the tent and the way that rain sounded, but it came down probably for 20, 30 minutes, and then it passed and the sun came out, and it was a beautiful evening.
Just sprinkling out there now.
The rain is subsided a little bit. It's hot. So this is the first time our chairs came in handy, and I'm glad we brought them in. These chairs are perfect for us. They're nice and small and compact. They fit in the helicopter. See, now if it clears off, maybe we'll be able to have a fire.
I don't usually build a fire from scratch very often, but basically we're just hucking kindling on it. It had just downpoured and all of our wood was wet, so I feel like we were fighting an uphill battle trying to like burn the moisture out of the wood. Probably about an hour of just continuous throw kindling on to keep it going. We eventually got the fire started and self-sufficient.
Tonight's supper is Forever Young macaroni and cheese. I don't think this is gonna make me look young.
Why do they call it Forever Young?
Forever young, I wanna be forever young.
Huh.
That's pretty good. The man brought us eggs and tomatoes. We got the fire going. Not a bad night, I must say. Well, it's been interesting so far, and I'm so tired. It's like 9 o'clock and I'm ready for sleep. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Pretty cool little spot.
So last night I was checking the weather on my phone and waiting for a battery to charge. I felt something on my hand. I looked down. It was this giant dandy long legs that was like that big. I was like, ugh, got me. And tried to like brush it away. And it ran into my sleeping bag. It just like grossed me out a little bit. Like they're fine. It's just like this little circle with the giant with the legs. Anyway, so then I flicked it out. Yeah.
Wait, I hope this wasn't facing me.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
Just getting washed up, packed up, stuffing our sleeping bags back in their stuff sacks.
The latter half of the trip right now this is what I'm looking forward to. This is like the exciting stuff where we get to land off airport, we get to do cool shit in the helicopter. That's what I live for. So we have one more destination left in Maine.
It's gonna be our first helipad landing of the trip.
I think we're gonna be able to make it. Looks like bright blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. Really excited for this one, but we will save this for the next episode.
All right, let's go over to this part of the field. We get a running start rather than just going over hostile terrain. Temperatures and pressures in the greens. No warnings and caution lights. Sufficient fuel on board. A little less than 23 to hover. Let's give her. Cruisers are with you, Zulu. We're en route to helipad Mike Echo 81.
So I was going to bed last night, and I was emptying my pockets. Car keys from the rental car
Whoops.
in Portsmouth. Why are you shaking your head?
This is a little bit of a classic Chris Nicholas type scenario we found ourselves in.
What do you mean classic Chris Nicholas scenario? What is that supposed to mean?
Did half of a task, forgot the most important part.
Now you see me. No, you don't.
Oh, this is dope. scary for me right now.
Oh yeah, this is a beautiful helipad.
So glad we made it here.
Same, great spot, great choice, babe.
Very cool to see how that community still thrives, even though they're however many miles off of the coast.
Just check the weather. Tomorrow the wind is going to get really bad towards the evening, so we have to get out of here early in the morning.
Helicopter 300 Whiskey Zulu just departing Monhegan Island.
This was where the trip kind of was up in the air.
Tomorrow is supposed to be IFR conditions all day. So.
Whoa, what's all that?
Yeah, it's kind of junky. We're in middle of nowhere, man.
This was not a scheduled stop on the trip.
November 0 Whiskey Zulu, Albany approach.
Go check.
Whiskey Zulu, you're coming in unreadable.
Pick up the mat and step on the button.
Radar
You want to squawk 7600?